We're breaking down a bunch of the known 30 visits today for the Dallas Cowboys. They're pre-draft meetings that they have a pretty good track record of drafting, so it's very noteworthy for the Cowboys. Before we get into that, we are in a sub-battle again this month against Giants now. We are somewhat behind, but plenty of time to catch up and beat them out. You want more free Cowboys videos each and every single day, live NFL draft coverage, and more? Hit that sub button right now. Some background here on what the 30 visits are. Sometimes you'll see them referred to as top 30 as well. There's really no difference. It's just you get 30 of them in the end. They're in-facility visits, meetings, interviews, medical checks, etc. before the NFL draft. It is not, by the way, a private workout. Those are different things. You can't actually work them out at the 30 visits. And the Cowboys historically love drafting and or signing some of their 30-visit players. Last year was just 2. Maurice Leafau, Nathan Thomas. Of notes, Tegaiton was not a 30-visit. Mozzie Smith, DeMarvion Overshown, Junior Fehoko, and Eric Scott all in 2023. 5 different players in 2022. Sam Williams. Of note, Tyler Smith was Dallas Day eligible, wasn't able to make it, so he ended up doing a private workout on the side for the Cowboys, so doesn't count, but also kind of does. Devin Harper, Deron Bland, they signed Marquise Bell and Malik Davis as undrafted free agents, so we should pay attention to these. The big names can give us a good indication of what positions they're most likely targeting, and the smaller names when we get them are often end up as Cowboys. Heck, even big picture. They had Jonathan Mingo in for a 30 visit, then traded for him, a year and a half later. Of note, this is both the players that come here, the guys that have 30 visits with the Dallas Cowboys, and big picture, the positions targeted. If there's a bunch of one position, you can pretty much guarantee the Cowboys will be drafting or signing several of that group. Now, of the 30 you are limited to, 18 have been reported. We normally end up around the 25 mark, give or take. We don't always get the full 30. Sometimes you do. That's awesome when that ends up happening. But we've got a pretty good chunk of them, and enough that we can get some good insight with the pre-draft meetings. So predictions. Of the 30 visits that we know, and maybe we'll get more in the future, how many of those 30-visit players end up getting drafted by the Dallas Cowboys? It is the pinned comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. We'll kind of group these by position for the 30 visits. 4 receivers. We'll go rapid fire, then more in-depth on each guy. Tetairoa McMillan out of Arizona. Luther Burden III out of Missouri. Matthew Golden, the wide receiver from Texas. And then Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. If you look at people's draft boards, it's pretty much those 4 in some order for everybody. These are all of the 4 likely/possible round 1 wide receivers. What does that mean? The Cowboys would like to take a wide receiver in round 1. T-Mac, the Arizona receiver, is my number 1 non-Travis Hunter receiver. We'll see if it gets there at 12. I have a lot of interest. Luther Burden, I'm glad the Cowboys brought him in. A lot of the buzz is not going in round 1. But I'm a big fan of his after-catch ability. I think he brings an element the Cowboys don't have. I think Matthew Golden also very much in play in round 1 for the Cowboys as a speedier threat than some of the guys on this list. And then Egbuka could also be a trade-down candidate. I think Burden probably falls in that category as well. Again, the clear and obvious interest in the Cowboys to bring in all of these different wide receivers is another indication that, hey, this team is probably going to pursue adding a wide receiver very early, ideally in round 1, in this year's NFL draft. Today's show is made possible by Turtle Beach. Remember the feeling of booting up your favorite game for the first time, or those late-night gaming sessions, which I'm too old to do these days? Turtle Beach is bringing back that feeling with the Gen 3 Stealth 700 headset. The Stealth 700 headset has an insane 80-hour battery life with quick charge, so you really have to think about charging it. The Stealth 700 has the industry's first cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. That means you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and your PC with a click of the button, and it gets better. While being onto your console, the Stealth 700 can connect to your phone for music, streaming, taking calls, etc., all at the same time. You can listen to your favorite songs while gaming, all done with the Stealth 700. Turtle Beach, by the way, doesn't just have amazing headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want. And they're all high quality at prices that do not break the bank. From flight and racing sims to controllers, keyboards, and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code for both PC and for console. Head to turtlebeach.com or turtlebeach.com/chat and use code chat for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your entire order at turtlebeach.com/chat with code chat. And after your purchase, they'll ask where we heard about them. Support our show. Tell them the Cowboys Report by Chat Sports sent you, and get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. All right, 30 visits at the running back spot. Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. TreVeyeon Henderson and his teammate, Quinshon Judkins, both out of Ohio State. And one of the earliest reported 30 visits, Bhayshul Tuten, the running back out of Virginia Tech. We'll talk Dallas Day guys here in a little bit, and there's a lot of running backs in the Dallas Day side here too. But again, very clear and obvious running back interest, which shouldn't surprise anybody. The Cowboys obviously need another back this year. Hampton has been linked in a lot of round one mock drafts. I would be surprised if the Cowboys went that route in round one, barring a trade down. But trade down is then suddenly he's very much in play. He is, I think, the number 2 back in this year's class pretty clearly. Henderson, if he's there in round 2, is a smash pick for me. Explosive, pass catcher, pass protector, everything I think you're looking for in kind of the modern day back. But he'd probably be in a committee just like he was at Ohio State, where Quinshon Judkins actually handled more of the workload. He also brings you some really good early down running. He's not a bad third down player either. Both those guys have round 2 grades for me. One of those kind of early day 3 grades who I wouldn't be mad at. I took him at 71, but if he's there in the 5th round, I'm all over it. Bhayshul Tuten out of Virginia Tech. Explosive runner, one of the fastest backs in this year's class. Had the fastest 40 time among backs, by the way, even faster than Jaden Blue. Just got to fix a fumbling issue there. I think a lot of us expect / want the Cowboys to draft a back this year. So name a running back who you want the Cowboys to draft. Let me know in the comments of today's show. The newest name from this morning along the offensive line is Armand Membou, who, as we get into, I think is a tackle, but Cowboys might be looking at him at guard, at least in the short term. Kelvin Banks out of Texas, who could be maybe he's the surprise round 1 pick that we haven't talked too much about there. Jonah Savaiinaea, I think is how it's pronounced. He's kind of changed it, or at least clarified it, out of Arizona, who is kind of one of the few, I think, day 2 guys on this list. I am a big fan of Armand Membou. I think he is one of the better offensive linemen in this class. I actually don't think he gets to the Cowboys at 12. Kelvin Banks, I do think gets there at 12. I also question the fit. I think he is a left tackle. I think his issues get exacerbated if you kick him inside the guard, but that would be the opening on the roster, would be to plug him in there at right guard. He could also be a breaking case of emergency round 1 pick for the Cowboys. The visit shows there's interest there. Jonah, I always heard it was Savaiinaea. I think it's Savaiinaea now. Is a guard, and I think he's a 3rd round most likely target. Maybe if you get crazy, weird board round 2. That's a day 2 target for the Cowboys potentially along the offensive line. Over to the edges here. Shemar Stewart out of Texas A&M. Mykel Williams out of Georgia. And then James Pierce Jr., the edge from Tennessee. Let's start with Stewart and Williams, because both these guys kind of fit the similar archetype of, hey, the production's not great, but the run stopping, the upside are really good. Stewart was one of the best testing players athletically in this year's NFL draft. And there's been really more underlying production. The pressure stuff in particular has been more impressive for Shemar Stewart, but he's a freak athlete. He is again, option at 12. And I think the Cowboys like Mykel Williams a lot. He fits, I think both those guys fit well opposite Micah Parsons because they can stop the run. They can get some pressures, but they have not produced in the way they wanted to. I don't think A&M's scheme was particularly good. Mykel Williams was banged up a lot this year, but that does scare me at 12. The Cowboys have done this before, but they use a couple of their draft visits on each year's for medical guys and for character guys. And James Pierce would be the Blue Star Special in round 2. He is a gifted athlete. He can get pressures, get sacks, isn't a great run defender. And I think there are questions about how much he loves the game of football. That was kind of mentioned in Dane Brugger's Beast that dropped today. And that's been out there before as well. So this is almost, at times, vetting the player, or the person, more than it is the player. I think that also applies to Walter Nolan, by the way, who we'll come back to here. He is a 30 visit. Alfred Collins is a really intriguing day 2 option for the Cowboys. We haven't seen many corners on this list, and I wonder if some of those 12 we're missing here also are in the secondary. Savone Revel and Andrew Makuba, a rare safety option out of Texas. Again, we'll break down all these guys here, beginning with Nolan. The traits are intriguing. The upside's intriguing. The consistency is not. And there's also been mixed reviews, I'll call it, for how he's did at A&M versus Ole Miss coaching staff-wise. Alfred Collins is not a pass rusher, but he's a damn good run stopper. If you can get him in the 3rd round, I am highly intrigued by that as an option for the Dallas Cowboys. Savone Revel is coming off an injury. This would be a classic Blue Star Special in round 2. Had he been healthy, he might have gone in round 1. So I am very intrigued by him as a round 2 option. I like Makuba a lot. He's skinny, and that might cause him to slide a little bit. But I would bet I am higher on him. I got him kind of round 2/round 3. I bet he goes somewhere in the 3rd round. Obviously, a lot of round 1 targets there for the Cowboys. So who do you want to draft in round 1? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. That's the 30 visit. I also want to spend time on the Dallas Day side. This is kind of like the local visit day, which means the Cowboys can't provide transportation, but if you come on up, you can visit the Cowboys organization. This is based on where you went to college and where you went to high school, which significantly benefits Dallas because you got SMU and TCU in North Texas and a ton of great high school ball in the area, which, as we'll get into, leads to some big names who are eligible. Now, you can do workouts for Dallas Day guys. You don't have to. You can do more 30 visit stuff, and the Cowboys oftentimes, as you'll see, can approach more of like a 30 visit style for a Dallas Day eligible guy. And in the end, this is a competitive advantage for Dallas. Compared to Todd Archer mentioned like Green Bay. Okay, you get Wisconsin and there's no good high school football up there. You get a bunch of good high school football in Dallas. Todd Archer has reported the number for the Dallas Day this year was approaching 60 players. That's valuable, man. You get a lot of up-close looks at more prospects this way. So we'll go quick on these guys. 4 quarterbacks. Quinn Ewers, who they took more of a 30-visit approach with. Seth Hennigan, Chandler Rogers, Braden Schrager. As you'll see, some of these guys are more undrafted free agent types, but you might have a 4th camp arm if you want to go undrafted with one of those guys. 3 notable backs here. Actually, multiple backs, frankly. Ashton Genty, a Dallas Day visitor. Damian Martinez, who could be in play in the 3rd round for the Cowboys. Ollie Gordon. Jaquindon Jackson's a day 3 prospect. Brashard Smith is super fun. Also, you kind of want to vet the person a little bit there. The SMU receiver turned back. Andrew Henry, kind of a day 3 sleeper in the backfield. Lots of receivers. Andrew Armstrong, who was super productive. Both TCU guys, Savaiinaea Williams and Jack Besh qualified. And some later guys, Roderick Daniels, Isaiah Nayor, Zachariah Franklin, Miles Price, Jaden Smith, Kelly Arcuriaya, I think I got that right, out of Mississippi State. 2 tight ends, Elijah Arroyo, again, local, and then Caleb Lohner, who was kind of a convert from basketball, so you can get your, I already made my Rico Gathers jokes once, but you can do that in the same fashion there as well. Offensive line, Cameron Williams, who's probably a day 2 pick. Caleb Rogers could sneak into day 2, same with Chase Lunt. John Paul Flores, Bless Harris, again, are day 3 undrafted guys. Not a ton of defensive names known right now. Nana Osafo Mensah out of TCU. Shemar Turner is a kind of day 2, day 3 option out of Texas A&M. Jalen Kimber from Penn State. Hudson Clark, safety from Arkansas. R.J. Mickens and Craig Woodson also kind of stand out as day 3 options for a team that is light body count wise at safety. Other names who were who are eligible but have not been reported as guys who attended. Both Sanderses, Shadur and Shiloh, their pro day was on the Friday, so the timing didn't work out there. I think Jerry's probably got a good feel for both those guys. Jake Majors out of Texas, Theo Weiss Jr., the Missouri receiver, Elijah Roberts. I don't know if he came or not. That's a name to monitor, by the way. Jabbar Muhammad out of Oregon, Marion James out of TCU, Billy Bowman Jr. too, the safety from Oklahoma. Lots of names to keep an eye out for from Dallas Day.